Hello everyone. So in this video we will discuss the third law of Newton. Newton's third law, the law of action and reaction. The force the forces it describes are real ones, not mere bookkeeping devices. For example, a book resting on a table applies a downward force equally to its weight on the table. According to the third law, the table applied an equal and the opposite force to the book. So, uh, let's learn the third law of Newton briefly. What is Newton's third law with example? So, example of Newton's third law of motion are ubiquitous in everyday life. For example, when we jump, your leg applied a force to the ground, and the ground applied the equal and opposite reaction force that propels you into the air. So, engineers apply Newton's third law when designing rockets and other projectile devices. I repeat, when you jump, your legs applied a force to the ground, and the ground applied the equally and opposite reaction force that propels you into the air. So, engineers apply Newton's third law when designing rockets and other projectile devices. What Newton's third law of motion in ninth class? The action and the reaction are equal and opposite. For example, what is placed a wooden block on the ground? The block exerts a force equal to its weight. W is equal to mg. Acting downwards to the ground, this is the action force. The ground exerts an equal and opposite force. W is equal to mg on the block and upward direction. So I repeat, the action and the reaction are equal to the opposite. For example, when we place a wooden block on the ground, this block exerts a force equal to its weight. W is equal to mg acting downward to the ground. This is the action force. The ground exerts an equal to the opposite force. W is equal to mg on the block in the upward direction. So is walking an example of Newton's third law? So the answer is a third example is walking. Whenever people walk, their foot exerts a force on the ground. The ground then exerts a equal force which point to the opposite direction. It is this force due to friction, that allow the person to move forward. Next we have, what is third law of motion called? Newton's third law, action and reaction. His third law states that for every action force is naturally there is an equal to opposite reaction. And if object A exerts a force and object B also exerts an equal opposite force on object A. So which mean every action have an reaction. Why Newton's third law important? Newton's third law is useful for figuring out which forces are external to a system. Recall, the identify internal forces is important when setting up a problem, because the external forces must be added together to find the net force. So this was the video about the third law of Newton's briefly explained with examples. So the video is ending here.